Our Shalom, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakah HaKwadash. A double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere Shalom to Yakim, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Now, this video here, it's AI generated, but it shows, the stresses they put upon the American people, man. And as you see, it's a economy core, which basically dealing with the topic of what? Of your finances, right? So let's hop into it. Hey, now, though it's, in that video, it shows forth basically how can you say, it's over exaggerated in a way, but it still isn't, right? Because here it is, people are literally having to make the decisions on whether or not to pay certain utilities than eat, right? Here it is, I did Lord allowed me to do a lesson on it, a month or so back, but it was 89 or 90% of the U.S. are finding it stressful to go into the grocery stores due to the fact that they really don't have any money to buy food, man. See, and that in itself, everybody is affected. It's not just you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, but it's also the Edomites. It's also Moab, Ammon, Elam. Everybody is feeling it, man, right? And this system is built up and having you stressed the way it is because Esau is ruling. Esau is Edom. You so-called white people, man. Right? Which we understand it's nobody actually white. You just come from the seed of Esau, right? Now, to put a balance to it as well, you have so-called white-looking people who are actually Israelites as well, man. Just like you have so-called Asians, so-called East Indians who are actually Israelites as well. It's not about the skin color. It's about the spirit within that person, And ultimately, Yahweh Shai Shai is only looking for the elect. Well, he knows who the elect are, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai Shai, this word is only for the elect of the nation of Israel, right? So that's all we're worried about. But grabbing precepts, let's start off in the book of Proverbs, the 22nd chapter. This is Proverbs 27, it's like at 22, and I'm going to start here at 7, and it reads, "The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender." So now everybody is in the boat of which Jake has always been in. Everybody is now in that boat of struggling, of pinching pennies, of dealing with harsh finances. You have massive layoffs every month, So it's contributing to ultimately people being in a desperate mindset. They're going to do anything in order to eat, in order to continue to live, right? People are pawning, their items. People are donating blood and plasma in order to make rent, in order to make ends meet. And it's only going to get worse from here on out. Because ultimately, this is one of the plagues in which Yahweh Shai Shai is using in order to usher in more of the chaos and hell, right? And on top of that, you have a division amongst the people. The food that you're eating is still poisoning you. The air quality, trash, the water, defiled. We can go on and on. So in the midst of all the madness around you, now you don't have a place to lay your head. People are living out of their cars. The food banks are running out of food because they're seeing an increase, in increased percentage of people who have never been there now going, man. So it says the rich ruleth over the poor, and as you've seen, they showed certain CEOs, which those weren't their real images, but it was the scenario of a CEO basically saying, oh, we need more. Here it is, the rich are getting tax breaks, With that 19, what happened? The middle class was essentially taken out. And the billion-dollar companies or monopolies turned into trillion-dollar businesses, man. So this is all happening under Esau Edom. And it's just hurting you more. Ultimately, if you have no hedge from Yahweh Shem Shai, then you're going to be consumed by these things. And we understand that, even the men of Yahweh Shem Shai, we're going to lose it all. But the difference is we still have the Lord, man. And through that, he's going to fully provide for the things in which are necessity. Now I want to grab another precept coming out of the book of Haggai, the first chapter. This Haggai 1:6, and it says, ye have sown much. Right here it is, you're working 40 hours, 50, 60, 80-hour work weeks. But it says what? And bring in little. Esau taking tax off of that. This insurance has to be paid. This car note has to be paid. Kids' clothes, so forth and so on. All of these bills, just come into, what you call reoccurrence. Right? So ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat but have not enough. Right? You're getting the worst quality of the food. You're not able to actually be fulfilled by the vitamins in the dishes because Esau stripped, the essentials out of everything. It says, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Right here it is, wine is one of those things in which the Lord created in order to, help man take the ease off of life. Right? But the scriptures tell you in the book of Isaiah 24 that, ye shall not drink wine with a song. It shall be bitter to them that drink it. So now you're drinking it to get over your hells, man. Right? As a coping mechanism. Right? It says, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. Meaning what? You lose it as soon as you get it. As soon as you get your check, you already know where all the money is going to. Okay, you got this bill on the 15th. You got rent on the 1st. You got car note on this day. You got this on this day. You just tally it up in your mind. You already knowing how much you're going to spend every month. And you like, dang, you working for this check, and by the time you get it, you left $5, $100 at max, but you really can't do nothing with. Don't let it be an emergency where, your tire, you got to get a new tire. Oh, that's minimum 200, right? Or you sick. Oh, man, if you sick, it's over. You already know your check going to be significantly shortened, You got people going to work sick for the fear that, if they don't get paid or if they miss a day, then guess what? They won't be able to pay for everything that they need or everything they have. So it's only getting worse from here on out, man. I have another video here because this is a reality, and it's funny, but it's true. It says when you got to do this life shit for the rest of your life. And that's why it's crash out season, man. That's why people are losing it. Man, because here it is, you're doing the same repetitive, you have the same week every week for every day of your life. You're in a cycle. You're in the hamster's wheel, essentially, not being able to get out of this cycle, because once the work week is done, you're worn out, so like you're worn out. And you're not able to what? If you had an idea in order to, try to improve yourself financially, you need time for that idea to actually be implemented. You're working 8 to 12 hours. Majority of the population is working anywhere from 8 to 12 hours. And that's if you can get a job. What about those who were laid off or who AI is taking their jobs, right? This is Isaiah 19. I'm actually grabbing it in the blue letter. Isaiah 19, and I'm going to just get to the point here. This is Isaiah 19 and 14. And it reads, and Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh, hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So in the midst of, people being laid off, and you have the northern kingdom being, corralled and deported to where your produce, your vegetables, your laborious jobs and things of that sort, they are no longer being done. So now the supply chain is disrupted, because now you don't have the same amount of fresh produce that you once had in your stores. That's gone, right? Now you don't have a specific laborer there to complete that job, because he is taking them away, has locked them up in alligator Alcatraz, or thrown them chained up into the sea, or a deserted place, man. Right? Automation has stripped a lot of people from being able to work, right? And it's still being pushed, and it's going to continue to be pushed heavily. So what is he going to do? The more people cry out for help, they're ultimately Esau is going to ultimately bring forth a cure, for this problem. And that cure in essence is going to be what? Oh, well, we now have a program implemented to where, you don't have to worry about working. We're going to make sure every month that you have that a program is going to be implemented to where you can, you can get paid, man. You can depend on your government to help you, right? So all of this is the people are going to beg for a solution, and he is going to give it. This is Isaiah 36 and 6, and it reads, Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him, right? So it says, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed. That staff is a support system, man, right? Something you can lean upon, right? It says, and thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed, right? He does nothing to benefit the general population, man. It's all to make the wealthy wealthier and the poor poorer. He wants you in that destitute position, because as long as you're destitute, you're going to beg him for an answer. You're going to beg him for a way to get out of it. And he's going to present this opportunity, right, as a way to heal what's been broken, to mend what's been cut, right? And he's going to tell you, hey, this is the way to get your family back in a position to where you're happy. This is a way, to make sure that you never lose again, right? And it's ultimately coming with what? A technocracy. The MOTB, which is the CHI to the P, man. So you trusting in that staff of the broken reed, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it, and always bring it out. As our elder Shaquat speaks, man, he says what? The devil always wants his money back, right? Esau don't do anything for his benefit or for the benefit of anyone else, right? You trusting in this devil, it's going to end up in you receiving thermonuclear destruction from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Hence the second death, right? So that broken reed, the solution is going to come with this device, which is a physical device, man. Revelation 13 and 16, right? And it reads, and he causeth all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand. That word mark is charagma, right? A physical mark, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, right? So we're going to go into this word charagma, right, for the word mark. G5480, a stamp or imprinted mark, right? A mark branded upon horses, right, to show forth ownership. The root word of this is karox, right? It says a pale stake palisade, which is the instrument used to administer this mark, which is what? A syringe. And the root word of this is graphos, right? Which is basically the information that's going to be placed upon this device for your banking, for insurance, everything that you have a paper or electronic contract for in today. All this information is going to be placed upon this device. It's going to be centralized, right? Now, when we go into the word 603 right, it's going into the word chi-psi stigma. And we're going to go into that word stigma, right? It says a mark or brand pricked. It's like a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their god. Strong's definition, right? A mark incised or punched, meaning what? Etched, carven, dug into the skin, under the skin, right? A scar of service, recognition of ownership. The mark, right? Which is the CHIP. We spell it out, you know? This is what Esau is bringing in order to alleviate you of all your pain, quote unquote. And receiving this, we'll go into Revelation 14. We're going to read in that judgment. 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of Yahweh. It's like the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So you receive of that mark, the Lord is going to judge you, man. Fire. Pure fire, you know. But that's the point. Just want to bring this lesson out. I seen those videos and it sparked the spirit. So, hey, the Lord allowed me to, do a lesson on it. Lord willing, it was edifying unto the body. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakah HaKodash. I double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere shalom to you again, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Shalom.